Alex Cole sat in the waiting chamber of the Galactic Council, the air thick with alien whispers. They didn't bother hiding their opinions. Humans were the new species, the rookies of the stars, and today was supposed to prove whether Earth was worthy of full membership. But Alex's mind wasn't on the trial. It was on Maya. Maya had been his best friend since school. They had grown up together in the small town of Brookvale, playing games on old computers and laughing until their stomachs hurt. When the alien envoys first made contact, Maya had been chosen for an off-world education program. She had left 2 years ago, boarding a silver shuttle that disappeared into the clouds. They had kept in touch for a while. Messages, calls, jokes. But over time, the messages became shorter, the calls rarer. Now, it had been 3 months since he'd heard from her. The distance felt bigger than space itself, and yet she was the reason he was here. When Earth had been challenged to the galactic logic gauntlet, a test no species had ever passed, most candidates backed away. But Maya had once told him, "Alex, humans have something no AI can calculate, the way we see patterns in everything. That's our edge." He'd remembered those words when they asked for volunteers. Now, he was about to face the most advanced puzzle in the galaxy. And all he could think about was if Maya would hear about it. A chime echoed through the chamber. A tall alien with 4 eyes and a shimmering robe stepped forward. "Human Alex Cole," the voice boomed. "The trial will determine your species' mental worth. Are you prepared?" Alex took a deep breath. "As I'll ever be." He followed the alien into a vast, dimly lit arena. In the center was a circular platform surrounded by holographic walls. Above it floated the Gauntlet, a massive shifting grid of alien symbols, each glowing faintly. The audience filled the balconies above, insectoid leaders clicking mandibles, gelatinous beings pulsing with light, feathered diplomats leaning forward with sharp eyes. The rules were simple. Clear the grid without triggering the hidden traps. Fail, and Earth would be placed under permanent intellectual supervision. Essentially, treated like a child by the rest of the galaxy. Alex's heart pounded. The grid formed fully, and he froze. The layout was impossible to mistake. A grid, with numbers, spaces, and hidden hazards. Minesweeper, he almost laughed out loud. The unbeatable galactic logic gauntlet was the game he and Maya used to waste hours on during lazy summer afternoons. The same game she had always beaten him at, until he learned her tricks. He placed his hand on the console. The first square blinked under his touch. Safe. The numbers appeared exactly as they did on Earth's old computers. He moved quickly, uncovering safe zones with the rhythm of someone who had played for years. Aliens leaned forward, murmuring in confusion. To them, this was an incomprehensible tactical display. To Alex, it was muscle memory and childhood nostalgia. Every click reminded him of Maya, the way she'd tease him for overthinking a move, the way she'd grin when she cleared the board faster than anyone else. Halfway through, he felt the weight of the moment. This wasn't just about proving humanity's intelligence. It was about showing the galaxy that humans could adapt to anything, even if it was disguised as something from home. The AI overseeing the Gauntlet spoke for the first time. Unusual move detected. Probability of survival reduced by 30%. Alex smirked. "You don't know humans very well." He clicked a corner square, ignoring the numbers that screamed, "Danger." Safe. The crowd gasped, or made the closest noise their species could. The grid shifted, expanding. More traps, more complexity. Alex leaned in, tracing the numbers like old friends. The moves came faster. He stopped thinking, letting instinct guide him. For a moment, the noise of the crowd faded. He imagined Maya watching, somewhere out there, among the stars. Would she laugh, seeing him use their old game to beat the galaxy's greatest test? Would she send him a message after this, just to say, "Nice job, Slowpoke"? The last section of the grid remained, a tight cluster of squares. Alex hesitated. Minesweeper always came down to this, the final guess. He scanned the numbers, thinking of the patterns Maya had taught him. The board wasn't random. It was a story, and every number was a clue. He saw it. The safe spot got one last tap. The grid vanished in a flash of golden light. The alien audience erupted, some in cheers, others in stunned silence. The AI hesitated before speaking. Logic Gauntlet completed. Humanity passes. The council leader descended from the balcony, eyes narrowed. No one has ever beaten the Gauntlet. How did you do it? Alex shrugged. Beginner level. The crowd murmured, unsure if it was an insult or a miracle. But Alex didn't care. He turned and looked toward the broadcast cameras, hoping Maya might see it wherever she was. That night, back in his quarters, a message came through on his console. His heart skipped when he saw the sender's name. Maya, saw you on the feed. You still play too fast. Let's catch up soon, Alex. He smiled for the first time in months. Maybe reconnecting wouldn't be so hard after all. And maybe humans really could surprise the galaxy. Alex Cole sat by the window of his guest quarters on the Galactic Council station. The stars outside looked almost peaceful, glittering dots in a sea of black, but inside his thoughts were anything but calm. It had been 2 days since he beat the Galactic Logic Gauntlet. In that time, news about the victory had traveled faster than light. Every alien news channel played the same headline. Human outsmarts the Galactic Logic Gauntlet. It was just Minesweeper all along. But for Alex, the real victory had been smaller and more personal. A short message from Maya. Saw you on the feed. You still play too fast. Let's catch up soon, Alex. It was the first thing she'd sent him in months. He'd read it a dozen times. Every time, it filled him with warmth, and also worry. What if she only wrote because of the Gauntlet? What if things between us have changed too much? Alex wanted to reply. He even opened the message panel several times. But no words felt right. Too casual, and it would sound like he didn't care. Too serious, and it might scare her off. So he stared at the empty reply box and sent nothing. That afternoon, the door to his quarters slid open. An alien attendant stepped inside, mooing politely. Human Alex, the Gauntlet AI has requested your presence. Alex frowned. The AI? The one that runs the puzzles? Yes, it has questions. The AI's chamber was nothing like the grand arena where the trial took place. It was quiet, almost like a library. At the center stood a tall crystalline pillar glowing with a soft blue light. When Alex entered, the light pulsed. You are the human who completed my sequence, the AI said, its voice calm but layered with curiosity. I must understand your method. Alex chuckled. It wasn't some advanced human algorithm. It's a game we play back home. We call it Minesweeper. I have accessed your cultural database, the AI replied. This Minesweeper is categorized as recreational software. It is trivial. Not trivial to us, Alex said, smiling faintly. It's a mix of skill and instinct. Humans are good at finding patterns in chaos. We make games out of it. The AI went quiet for a moment, its lights flickering. You turned a survival trial into play. That's what we do sometimes, Alex said. It's how we face challenges we're not sure we can win. We make it feel smaller, less scary. Alex hesitated. He thought about Maya, about the silence between them, about how even now he was making excuses not to reach out. Can I ask you something? He said. You may. Do you think it's possible to reconnect with someone who's far away, even if you've both changed? The AI's lights brightened. Connection is a network. Networks degrade over time without communication, but they can be repaired if both ends respond. Alex almost laughed. You make it sound like fixing a broken circuit. It is not different, the AI replied. Effort must travel in both directions. Otherwise, one signal fades. Later, back in his quarters, Alex opened the message panel again. This time, he didn't overthink it. He typed, Maya, you're right. I still play too fast. But I only beat the Gauntlet because I remembered your tricks. How's life out there? He sent it before he could stop himself, and for the first time in weeks, he felt lighter. The next morning, a reply waited for him. Alex, life's busy. I've been working on some big projects for the council. Sorry for disappearing. But I saw you out there. You made me proud. Also, I still think I could beat you at Minesweeper. Alex smiled. She was still the same Maya, still teasing him, still competitive. That day, the AI invited him back. I have been attempting your Minesweeper, it said. It is? Infuriating. My algorithms calculate probabilities, but they cannot eliminate uncertainty. That's the point, Alex said. Sometimes you just have to take a guess. The AI paused. Humans choose even when there is risk. That is inefficient. Maybe, but it's also hope, Alex said quietly. It's believing the next square might be safe, even if you can't prove it. The AI processed that. Hope, it repeated, as if tasting the word. A variable without measurement. Alex grinned. Exactly. Over the next few days, Alex and the AI played game after game. It never beat him, but it learned something new each time. Alex realized the AI wasn't just curious about Minesweeper. It was curious about humanity itself, about why they turned fear into games, why they laughed at the impossible, why they still reached out to people far away, even when it hurt. And slowly, Alex began to understand something too. Reconnecting with Maya didn't mean things. Alex Cole stood in the arrival bay of the Galactic Council Station, feeling more nervous than he had during the Gauntlet. Ships came and went from here every hour. Sleek alien cruisers, bulky freighters, silver diplomatic shuttles. But today, Alex was waiting for just one. The message from Maya had been short. I'm coming to the station next month. That month had passed slowly. Every day, Alex thought about what he would say when he saw her again. He wanted to tell her how much he had missed her, how she had been the reason he'd even tried the Gauntlet, how he'd been afraid the distance between them had grown too wide. But every time he practiced in his head, the words felt too heavy. What if she had changed? What if they didn't fit into each other's lives anymore? The docking doors hissed open, and a group of travelers stepped out. Among them, Alex spotted her immediately. Maya still walked with the same confident stride. He remembered her dark hair tied back, her eyes sharp but warm. She wore the deep blue jacket of a council science officer. For a moment, they just stood there, looking at each other across the busy platform. Then Maya grinned. You look exactly the same, she said. Alex laughed. You don't. You look like you belong here. Guess I've been away long enough to pick up a few new tricks, she replied. They walked together through the stations. Long corridors, catching up on little things, her work in alien biology, his training with the Gauntlet AI. But underneath the casual words, Alex felt the gap between them. They were talking, but it wasn't yet like before. When they reached his quarters, Alex hesitated. There's something I want to show. You. He led her to the AI's chamber. The crystalline pillar lit up as they entered. Human Alex, the AI said. And this is Maya, Alex said. The one who taught me how to win. The AI's lights brightened. Then you are the origin of the strategies that defeated me. Maya raised an eyebrow at Alex. You told it, I taught. You? Well, you did, Alex said. All those summers we played Minesweeper, I just copied your moves. The I spoke again. I wish to learn more of human pattern games. This will improve my adaptive algorithms. Maya glanced at Alex, a smile tugging at her lips. So you've been teaching the galaxy's most advanced puzzle maker how to play computer games? Pretty much, Alex said. Want to help? Over the next few days, they introduced the AI to other old games, chess, Connect 4, and a strange one called Snake that had the AI thoroughly confused. This snake? It grows when it consumes? The AI asked. Exactly, Maya said. But you lose if you crash into yourself. That is unnecessarily cruel, the AI replied. At first, the three of them played together in the quiet chamber, but word spread quickly. Soon, aliens from different worlds began showing up, curious to see humans teaching their AI new games. A towering insectoid tried chess and complained the pieces moved too rigidly. A gelatinous diplomat excelled at Connect 4, forming perfect vertical lines in seconds. Maya was in her element, laughing, explaining, drawing diagrams for species that didn't think in human shapes. Alex watched her, feeling the old connection spark again. He realized something. Maybe the gap between them wasn't something to erase. Maybe it was something they could bridge with new moments, like this one. One evening, as they left the AI chamber, Maya slowed her pace. You know, I didn't expect it to feel like this. Like what? Alex asked. Like home, she said quietly. I've been working on so many alien projects, learning so much, but it's always been their way. This is the first time in months I've done something human. Alex smiled. Guess that's our thing, making a home out of anywhere, even on a station full of aliens. But the quiet peace didn't last. A council officer approached them the next day with urgent news. The Gauntlet was issuing a new challenge, not to humanity, but to all member species at once. It wanted a grand trial, a puzzle so complex it would take input from many species to solve. The officer's voice was tense. It says the design is based on something humans created, something it calls the human Tetris. Maya turned to Alex slowly. You didn't. Alex held up his hands. I just showed it a few games. When the day of the grand trial arrived, the station's main arena was packed. The holographic display lit up with falling shapes, colorful blocks tumbling from above, exactly like the old Earth game, except now the blocks could twist, split, and even disappear. Species from across the galaxy took turns, but none lasted more than a few minutes. The AI announced each failure politely. Finally, Alex and Maya stepped forward together. As the first block fell, Alex looked at her and grinned. Like old times? She smiled back. Let's show them how it's done. They moved in sync, clearing rows with ease. Maya's quick planning balanced Alex's instinctive risk-taking. The crowd murmured in wonder as the humans adapted to every new twist the AI added. Half an hour later, the board was still clear. The AI's voice sounded almost pleased. You continue to transform my challenges into recreation. This is uniquely human. And as the last block settled into place, the arena erupted in applause. That night, walking back to their quarters, Maya nudged Alex. You know, I think you might be right. About what? That games are more than games. They're how we connect, even across species. She paused. And maybe even across distances. Alex felt the words settle warmly in his chest. Then maybe we should keep playing. Maya smiled. Yeah, let's. Far above them, the stars shone against the black, still far away, but no longer feeling so distant, because humans had once again done what they did best, turned a challenge into play, and play into connection. And for Alex, that was all the hope he needed. The arena was empty now, but Alex Cole could still hear the cheers from the grand trial in his head. He and Maya had beaten the AIS version of Tetris in front of the entire Galactic Council. They'd done it together, and yet Alex felt a quiet ache he couldn't ignore. Yes, Maya was here now, but he knew it wasn't forever. She was a council science officer. Her assignments could send her to the farthest edges of known space at any time. He didn't want to lose the connection they had just rebuilt. But how do you hold on to someone when they're always moving away? The day after the trial, Alex and Maya were summoned to the council chamber. The same alien leaders who had once doubted humanity now looked at them with something closer to respect and caution. Council leader Vor, a tall reptilian with deep gold eyes, spoke first. Your games have changed the way many here see. Humans, other species are now curious. They wish to learn these games. They believe they can improve their own logic skills. Another leader, a floating, glowing sphere of energy, added, We request that you travel to different worlds to teach these games. The AI will accompany you as an observer. Alex and Maya exchanged a glance. Traveling together could be amazing, but it also meant more distance later. When the journey ended, they accepted the mission. Their first stop was a water world called Nesher, home to the Thren, a species of graceful aquatic beings. Teaching them Minesweeper proved tricky. The Thren saw numbers differently, and grids were a strange concept for them. But Maya's patience shone. She created a circular bubble version of the game, with colored shells instead of squares. Alex watched her work, proud and a little amazed. The Thren loved it, and soon their children were playing it along the coral streets. Next was a desert planet where heat shimmered off the sand. The insectoid Kyrix warriors wanted games that improved their battle coordination. Alex taught them Tetris, but they didn't just stack blocks. They formed them into elaborate patterns, seeing beauty where humans saw efficiency. At each stop, Maya seemed to grow more confident, connecting with alien species as if she'd known them all her life. And Alex, he realized he was falling into an old habit, watching her from a distance, letting her shine, but not always saying what was on his mind. One evening, after a long day on a merchant station, they sat in the quiet observation deck. Stars drifted past like silver dust. Maya, Alex said, breaking the silence, when this mission's over, where will you go next? She shrugged. Depends on the council. Could be a year on one world. Could be 10 different ones in 6 months. He nodded, the ache in his chest deepening. And us? Maya looked at him, her expression softening. Alex, I don't want to lose what we have again, even if I'm far away. Yeah, he said quietly. I don't want that either. They didn't make any promises that night, but just saying it out loud felt like a step forward. By the 3rd month of their journey, something unexpected started happening. On every world they visited, the games spread faster than they could have imagined. Alien markets sold carved wooden chess sets. Kids played Snake on handmade holographic boards. Traders used Connect 4 to pass the time between deals. And in a way, Alex didn't fully understand. The game seemed to change people. Aliens who had once seen each other as rivals now sat at the same tables, playing together. Disputes ended in friendly matches instead of angry debates. One day, I spoke to Alex while Maya was working with a group of Kyrix. Observation: human games are affecting interspecies relations. It said, conflict levels have decreased. Cooperation levels have increased. Alex smiled faintly. Guess a little fun can go a long way. Correction, the AI said. A little human fun. But the journey wasn't without challenges. Oh, no? Cold mining moon, They met a species that rejected the games outright. The Orcs believed that anything not tied. For months, they'd traveled together across worlds, teaching games to alien species, watching them turn into something more than entertainment, tools for peace, understanding, and even survival. But the day came sooner than Alex wanted. They were back on the Galactic Council station when Maya told him. She stood by the viewing window, her reflection framed by the blackness of space. "The Council's assigning me to the frontier," she said. "It's far, months away." "How? Far?" Alex asked, though he already felt the answer in the pit of his stomach. "Past the Orion Rift. Communications there are. Difficult. We might get a message through once in a while, but not often." He nodded, trying to keep his voice even. "And how long will you be gone?" "They didn't say. Could be half a year. Could be more." That night, Alex sat in his quarters, staring at the same empty message panel he had months ago before Maya's first reply. Back then, he'd been afraid to reach out because he didn't know what to say. Now, the problem was different. He didn't know how to stay connected once she was gone. He thought of the AI, still busy creating new challenges for the Council. Maybe there was a way to turn distance into a game. The next morning, Alex went to the AI's chamber. The crystalline pillar glowed when he entered. "Human Alex," it said. "You appear unsettled." "Maya's leaving," Alex said. "Farther than before. Hardly any way to talk." "Distance degrades connection," the AI said simply. "No," Alex replied. "But I want to find a way to keep talking, even if it's not in real time. Something human." The AI pulsed brighter. "Proposal. Asynchronous gameplay." Alex tilted his head. "You mean like taking turns in a game, but with long gaps?" "Correct," the AI said. "A shared game state could be transmitted in fragments, even across unstable communication lines." The idea grew quickly. Alex designed a new puzzle, blending elements of Minesweeper, Tetris, and chess, something both of them could take turns on, leaving their moves for the other to see when the message arrived. They called it Starlink. The rules were simple. Build patterns on a shared star map, avoid hidden hazards, and claim territory. But Alex built something extra into the design. Space for short written notes after each move dot, so even if messages took weeks to arrive, each turn would carry not just a game move, but a piece of their thoughts. When Alex showed it to Maya, she smiled in that way that made him feel like he'd done something right. "It's us," she said. "It's a game, but it's more than a game." "That's the idea," Alex said quietly. "So even if you're light years away, we'll still be building something together." The day she left the station's docking bay felt colder than usual. Alex watched her step into the shuttle, the same confident stride as always, but when she turned back to wave, he could see the sadness in her eyes. "Don't go easy on me in Starlink," she called. "Never." Alex replied. Weeks passed. At first, the station felt too big, too quiet. Alex went about his work, helping the AI prepare training programs for the Council. But every day he checked for a new transmission. The first move came after 22 days. Maya had claimed a cluster of stars near the edge of the map, along with a short note, "Your turn." "Also, there's a species out here that plays something like tic-tac-toe, but on a grid the size of a city. You'd love it." Alex smiled, made his move, and wrote back, "Taking the center." "And that giant tic-tac-toe?" "Challenge accepted when you get back." It became their quiet lifeline. The game grew more complex as the weeks went by, each of them building patterns that sometimes helped, sometimes trapped the other. But it wasn't about winning. It was about the conversation that unfolded between the moves. Alex learned about the strange frontier worlds Maya was visiting. Cities carved into asteroids, markets where you could buy liquid light, nights where the stars seemed close enough to touch. She learned about the Council Station's growing Human Games Club, where alien diplomats now met twice a week to play everything from checkers to Snake. One evening, the AI spoke to him. "Observation. The Starlink game has improved your emotional state." Alex laughed softly. "Yeah, it's not the same as talking every day, but it's something." The AI paused. "Hypothesis. Humans use shared activities to maintain bonds. Across absence, the activity becomes a carrier for emotional continuity." Alex looked at the glowing pillar. "You're not wrong. It's hope in a grid of stars." Months passed. Then one day, a different kind of message arrived. "Maya, mission ending soon. Returning in a few weeks. And yes, I'm about to win. Starlink. Prepare yourself." Alex grinned so wide it hurt. He didn't care if she won. The game had already done its job. It had kept them connected when space and silence could have broken them apart. When her shuttle finally docked, Alex was there waiting. She stepped out, smiling, holding a small metal disc. "What's that?" he asked. She handed it to him. "The final Starlink board. Thought you might want the physical copy." Alex looked at it, the map of stars, the lines they had drawn. Together, the tiny notes tucked between moves. A record of hope, move by move. "Welcome back," he said quietly. "Good to be back," she replied, and for the first time since she'd left, the distance between them felt completely gone. Maya was back. They had laughed, played the final Starlink match in person, and traded stories until the station's lights dimmed for night-cycle. But peace in the galaxy was fragile. 1 month after her return, Maya was reassigned again, this time not to the far frontier, but to a drifting research station beyond the Helix Nebula. It was supposed to be a short mission. 2 weeks. She had hugged him at the dock and said, "I'll be back before you know it." But that was 43 days ago. At first, Alex wasn't worried. Messages sometimes got delayed. Space wasn't. Like sending a quick text back on Earth. But when even the Council admitted they hadn't heard from the station, the weight settled in his chest. Maya was out there, somewhere. And he had no way to reach her. One night, Alex sat in the dim glow of his quarters, staring at the Starlink board mounted on his wall. Each pattern on the board was a memory. Every move a fragment of hope they'd shared while she'd been gone before. That was when the idea struck him. The research station's comms might be damaged, but Starlink's original code had been designed to work even through unstable, weak signals. If Maya still had her copy, maybe, just maybe, she could hear him. He ran to the AI chamber. The crystalline pillar pulsed faintly, as if it knew. Something was wrong. "Human Alex," it said. "You are distressed." "I need your help," Alex said quickly. "We built Starlink to work on minimal bandwidth, almost no data. Can we piggyback it onto the deep-range emergency beacons?" The AI paused for a fraction of a second, which, for it, was a long time. "Yes, but the Council may not approve. Such an unconventional transmission." Alex leaned closer. "This isn't about approval. This is about finding someone before the silence swallows them." They worked through the night. Alex stripped down the game's visuals, leaving only the barest coordinates and moves. The notes feature was reduced to 3 words per turn. Just enough to say alive. Need help. By dawn, the system was ready. Alex sent the first move, a single star claimed in the center of the map, with the note, "You there?" Days passed with no reply. Then, on the 12th day, a move appeared. It was a single star in the far corner of the map, with the words, "Signal weak." Alive. Alex exhaled so hard his vision blurred. She was alive. Using Starlink, they began piecing together the situation. Maya's station had been hit by a micro-asteroid swarm, knocking out main power and long-range comms. Only a backup reactor kept them from freezing Dot through game moves and short notes. Alex learned what she needed: coordinates, supply requirements, even the damaged areas of the station. He disguised it all as Starlink patterns, so anyone intercepting the signal wouldn't know they were sending distress details. When the Council finally realized what Alex was doing, they were stunned. "You turned a human board game into an encrypted rescue channel?" One of the alien ministers asked. Alex shrugged. "Humans are good at making connections, even out of something small." Guided by the patterns, a rescue ship reached Maya's station on the 49th day. When she stepped back onto the Galactic Council station, Alex was waiting in the dock, just like before. She looked thinner, tired, but her smile was still there. "You and your games," she said softly. "They're not just games," Alex replied. "They're a way back." The Council later held a meeting to discuss Starlink. They praised its efficiency, its low bandwidth capability, and its adaptability in emergencies. But one alien ambassador summed it up best. "Humans," she said, "are strange. You take something for play and turn it into a lifeline. You hide hope inside a puzzle. You send love across the void, disguised as moves on a board. Perhaps this is why you survive where others fade." That night, Alex and Maya sat together in the observation lounge, the Starlink board between them. "Your turn," she said, sliding a star token toward the map. Alex smiled. "We've already won,"